Chapter 131. Mad Lord's Grasp 1. Whoosh. Suddenly, as I regain consciousness, I find myself alongside the Mad Lord, having reached the front of Yuan Li's castle. It feels too anticlimactic. Thinking back to Song Jin's strength. The Mad Lord, who beheaded Song Jin, could shatter Yuan Li along with his castle with just a swing of his hand. Is he inside there? Yes, that's right. Good, there's a massive amount of resentful souls under the castle. Your words weren't baseless. Mad Lord murmurs, chewing on his finger, then starts rummaging through his storage artifact. And then, flash, Mad Lord pulls something out of his storage artifact. It's a small stone doll. A small statue, resembling a stone guardian. And when the Mad Lord throws that statue towards the Black Castle. Whoa Wang, the statue grows larger and larger. Expanding and increasing in size, the statue becomes as large as a mountain range and falls onto the small Black Castle. Kuang. It sounds as if heaven and earth are colliding. The defensive barrier of the Black Castle seems to activate but instantly shatters, and the statue continues to fall, crushing the Black Castle. Rumble. Starting from the top, the castle begins to crumble under the statue. Then, familiar clouds of blood emerge, trying to block the statue. Senior, whoever you may be, how can you torment a junior who can't even participate in the ascension? With gleaming eyes, Mad Lord speaks. Don't worry, I'll accept you into my world and rebirth you into a fine new being. You'll make a fine piece. At those words, Yuan Li screams in terror. This Mad Lord, this lunatic. I'm not a lunatic, I'm an artist. She told me so. I am an artist. Mad Lord speaks while chewing on his finger, and Yuan Li, realizing the futility of communication, desperately summons blood clouds to block the statue. Just then, Ku-goo-goo-goo-goo-goo. From a distance, a blue radiance is hurtling towards us like a crazy river winding through the sky, revealing a majestic being. It's Xiao Wei'ol, the Sea Dragon King. Old man Mad Lord, why are you oppressing a young junior during such an auspicious time? Swoosh. Xiao Wei'ol, transforming into human form in front of me and the Mad Lord, smiles and raises his hand. Whoosh. Blue light swirls around his hand, and the statue the Mad Lord had thrown begins to slowly rise into the air. Yuan Li is seen relaxing below. Old man Mad Lord, if something displeased you, please don't do this during such a sacred time and… Ignoring Xiao Wei'ol's words, Mad Lord looks at me with gleaming eyes. I'll turn that worm-like beast into snake soup, so in the meantime, you take revenge for your her. Yes, thank you. Xiao Wei'ol's gaze meets mine. Oh my, this fellow Taoist. You seem to have learned a unique method. It's better to resolve things through dialogue, not fighting. Then, the Mad Lord with still gleaming eyes, takes out a box as big as himself from his storage device and flings open the lid. Shut up, you blue worm. I'll brew snake liquor with you today and drink it with her. Oh my, Xiao Wei'ol cringes and dodges, and something leaps out of the Mad Lord's box. After thanking the Mad Lord, I rush down below. Boom, it seems I am back right away after making a mess last time. It's a strange feeling. I enter the interior of the Black Castle. There, I see a familiar face. Yuan Li, who are you? A friend of the Mad Lord? If so, could you please spare? I look around inside the Black Castle. The smell of blood is still strong. Ku-goo-goo-goo-goo. Above, cultivators at the Heavenly Being stage are fighting, causing tremendous shockwaves. Actually, you're not my enemy. What? Strictly speaking, this guy has not yet committed the massacre. So, he is not my enemy yet. But, looking around and glaring at Yuan Li. The scent of blood wafting from everywhere. The wails of numerous resentful souls beneath the Black Castle. The long source true power he has been gathering for hundreds of years. Considering everything, still, even if you're not my enemy, you seem like someone who deserves to die. What? I draw my colorless glass sword. Die. Crash. Before he can react, I charge at him. Ah, it's a simple body slam, but it's enough to punch a hole in his stomach. This bastard. Yuan Li pulls out his pagodas and starts taking out other Dharma treasures. Then, I swing the formless sword at him. Swoosh. Ignoring all his Dharma treasures and defensive spells, the formless sword cuts right through him. He looks at me bewildered, as if he can't comprehend what just happened. But without bothering to explain, I swing dozens of strikes at his body. Dice and slice. In an instant, he is shredded into a mist of blood. Die. Pagwagwagwagwa. The fox that continuously tore off my arm had planted a deep-seated anger in me. In my past life, Facing the fox, I was furious and angry. However, my feelings towards Yuan Li who killed her, are of hatred. An even more concentrated and sticky malice than anger. Because it's more condensed, my malice doesn't erupt as easily as with the fox. Swinging the formless sword, I continuously break through Yuan Li's defenses and dodge his attacks. Actually, there's no need to dodge. Slash. I just target the most crucial cores that serve as the link of the spells, letting all other parts pass through. Then, when I cut it down, the spell dismantles. What nonsense is this? What are you? Yuan Li, in panic, presses me even more. But I easily dodge his techniques. The speed at which I can accelerate has changed compared to before. Zip. After evading his attacks, I approach him and slash down with the formless sword. The formless sword, passing through the unnecessary, directly slices through Yuan Li's golden core. ... He shudders in pain. Wo Wang. He then forms hand seals and blood clouds flow and are absorbed into his body, beginning to regenerate his golden core. But, keep regenerating. Dice and slice. As soon as the golden core regenerates, I swing the formless sword again, cutting it off. I'll cut you down again and again. Churik Churararak. You won't even have time to search for your blood spirits scattered near the heaven-treading desert. At my words, he shudders and glares at me. You, how do you know about my blood spirits? There's no need to know. I simply reply and charge at him again. You, fine, I'll treat you as a fellow nascent soul cultivator for now. Wo Wang. He summons his bizarre ghost beast and ghost kings. Suddenly, it becomes a 4-against-1 situation. But, strange, why doesn't it feel burdensome at all? It isn't a matter of pure power or weight class. The enemy's intent is more vividly visible. Even if the area is covered with his consciousness, it's like I can clearly read Yuan Li's intent from within. Boom 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 boom. The blood cloud ghost kings swing their scythe at me. From all 6 directions, the ghost kings strikes surge at me. But I entrust myself to the flow of emptiness and dash towards one point. Boom. With the formless sword imbued throughout my body, I shatter the weakest part of the attacks and break through. The bizarre ghost beast rushes at me. It sweeps at me with its tail-like part. A hit that would surely reduce me to shreds. However, I don't feel like it will hit. I dodge the ghost beast's attack and then dodge the attacks of the ghost kings from both sides. After that, Wo Wang, I throw the formless sword at Yuan Li, who is casting spells from afar. Yuan Li is shocked and tries to dodge, but, slice, the formless sword changes its trajectory and pierces through Yuan Li's body. ... He screams silently again, injecting the life force he has gathered into the freshly divided golden core, trying to heal it. So that's it. Your attacks traverse planes, not just cutting what you want, but adjusting the level of the plane. To nascent soul cultivators, there can be no attack more vicious than that. Yuan Li spits out some words. But I silently dodge the attacks of the ghost beast and ghost kings, approaching him. Truly, before he commits the massacre and collects the blood spirits, he is truly weak. Compared to him 200 years later, it's almost embarrassing to consider them the same person. I feel his utmost effort to stop me, but that's it. Wo Wang. He sends hidden spells at me. Not quite at the level of record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, but still difficult to perceive. However, using the strange sensation felt after reaching the treading heaven realm, I cut through his techniques and take another step towards him. Yuan Li flinches. Do you know nothing about planes? Are you not cutting knowingly, but just instinctively? He trembles. You bastard, what are you? I am asking what you are. Damn it, get away. Quang quang quang. I take steps towards him, one at a time. In terms of pure power, I am still weaker than him. However, the true power of the formless sword, gained through the abilities of the treading heaven realm, makes it easy to slice through his techniques. It's a simple strategy. Let the tough parts pass through and cut only the vital, weaker parts. No defense can stop it. No matter how much he tries to block, it's futile. Boom, bang, my formless sword cuts through his vital parts again and he spits blood while thrown backward. If you can't even grasp the concept of planes, you're not a nascent soul cultivator. But what is this ability to freely transcend planes? Let me ask you something. I approach him and ask. Is life a blessing or a curse? What? He asks back, not understanding. Swoosh. I point my formless sword at him. Fighting with you, I'm gradually getting a feel for it. I've only been attacking your vital parts, but if I concentrate. I can cut through all physical defenses and directly target the most crucial essence. The soul. No matter how many times you regenerate, I can kill you. Exclamation mark. Yuan Li 200 years later, no, Yuan Li after the massacre, is so much stronger in comparison. Even if the Black Castle provides him with the power of an early nascent soul due to his core formation grand perfection cultivation, it seems it only amplifies the power of his abilities, not actually creating a nascent soul. The difference between the present him and the him when he possesses a nascent soul is immense. Of course, it's not an exaggeration to say he was originally a nascent soul cultivator. He grits his teeth seeing my focus on the formless sword. You've raised your plane to the extreme. Haha, you can even cut through souls. First, answer my question. I look at Yuan Li expressionlessly. Is life a blessing, or is it a curse? Hey, are you asking such an obvious thing? He chuckles. Obviously, it's a tremendous blessing. How big a blessing it is to have this body and breed in this world, do you know? Life is a blessing, and death is the curse given to humans. Is that so? I wanted to ask the same to Yuan Li in my past life, but I was too blinded by rage to ask properly. Why are you asking such a thing? Do you think the opposite? I used to. What? He looks at me as if I am crazy. But I just smile. But now, I'm sure. It's neither. Question mark. Yuan Li looks at me, not understanding at all. Neither life nor death are the criteria to determine a blessing or a curse. And, seeing you today, I'm sure. You're certainly not living a blessed life. What dog shit are you spouting? Dog shit you say. I smirk. Even if I speak nonsense, isn't it your wish to live even a moment longer by letting me ramble on? His face behind the mask twists hideously. Now then, farewell. I don't wish to see you again. Wait, look here, calm down. First, can you at least explain why you're killing me? Someone I've never seen before suddenly comes to kill. He can't quite understand. Understand. I point to the source of the bloody stench emanating from the Black Castle. Did you seek understanding from those you've killed? When you trample others so miserably, shouldn't you know you can end up the same? Wait, listen, right, we have no relations, right? You had no relations with them either. And no, don't do that. No, I don't want to die. Please, I beg you. Do you know how precious it is to be alive? Please don't kill me. Someone who understands that shouldn't have stolen others' lives. I swing down my formless sword. No, swoosh. My formless sword, cutting through his head, splits his soul. He dies, unable to even collect his blood spirits. Hiss. As Yuan Li dies, the black mask covering his face also crumbles. Yuan Li's face is a blank nothing. He claimed proudly that being alive is a blessing. But this monster, who devoured people and lost even his own face through synthetic bodies, who could he have truly connected with? What is life to someone who lived without a heart, so desperately clinging to it? I don't particularly want to know. I cut off Yuan Li's head and exit the Black Castle. Outside the castle are Mad Lord and Xiao Weiol. Near Xiao Weiol are the faces I had seen in my previous life, all surrounding the Mad Lord. Old man Mad Lord, please calm down and listen to what I am saying. Shut up, you venomous snake. Don't block my way, old man. Then, Xiao Weiol's gaze suddenly turns towards me. I meet Xiao Weiol's eyes, smiling faintly, and lift Yuan Li's head. Suddenly, it's cold. Although Xiao Weiol looks at me with a faint smile. It feels as if I am thrown naked into the depths of the sea, engulfed by the cold currents. How is it, Xiao Weiol? Despite his unchanging expression, I read his intent and heart essence, feeling an unprecedented pleasure. Mad Lord begins to laugh crazily, seemingly reading Xiao Weiol's ever-changing intent. Ha, you ha. What he did must be really bothered you that much, huh? Right, what wicked plot were you cooking up this time, huh? Xiao Weiol, who had been silently looking at me, speaks to the Mad Lord. It's nothing serious. Just, seeing a promising junior among the humans, I, as a senior in the cultivation world, feel content regardless of race. I read Xiao Weiol's intent, surprised to see he seemed to be genuinely resolving his feelings. Why, wasn't Yuan Li important to him? While I am pondering, Wo Wang, Xiao Weiol suddenly appears right in front of me. He just leapt through space. It wasn't about speed. I literally felt space opening up for a moment. Sia Whale looks at me and smiles gently. Yuan Li, once a devil who killed one of the latter generations of the Sea Dragon tribe, was someone whom I personally admonished. However, it appears he could not rid himself of his vile nature and committed numerous massacres. It seems you have properly educated him. Quote. What can possibly be this mon's intentions to speak to me as such? Sia Whale grins at me. I shall take my leave. It seems Old Man Mad Lord has taken an interest in you, so be careful. Old Man Mad Lord turns those he finds interesting into living puppets in his own world. After patting my shoulder, Sia Whale soars into the sky, disappearing into the blue twilight. The other heavenly being cultivators who had surrounded the Mad Lord also leave in the direction Sia Whale has gone. Last time, because he used his powers in Ascension Path, many heavenly being cultivators detained him. But this time, there was no one to reprimand him, possibly because he used his powers in the heaven-treading desert. Haha, as for this castle. Mad Lord comes down to the Black Castle and starts inspecting it. A kind of immortal treasure. It contains the attraction of fate. Let's see. He tears apart a section of the castle. I've found it. Is this the source of the attraction? I glance at the spot the Mad Lord demolished. There's something like a shining rock embedded there. While the Mad Lord is intrigued by it, I decided to leave the area. Sia Whale may be hateful, but he's right. Mad Lord is truly mad, and staying near him can result in me being dissected or turned into a puppet without anyone knowing. I silently leave the Mad Lord's side and fly far away into the heaven-treading desert using the formless sword. Thus, on the first day of my return, I eliminated Yuan Li, the source of the heaven-treading desert massacre, and escaped from the Mad Lord. I thought all the problems of this life have been solved. Where are you going so quickly? Chill. A puppet with wings resembling a wasp's, similar to a grotesque insect, is suddenly flapping next to me. The puppet, eerily resembling the Mad Lord, echoes his voice. Now that I think about it, I forgot to tell you. After hearing your story, I was so moved that I consulted with her. We agreed to help you with your revenge and welcome you into our world. Don't worry, I intend to evolve you into a superior being. For now, just stay still for a moment. This is insane. I evade the Mad Lord's puppet that suddenly swings its saw blade at me. Why are you running? Why are you running? Why are you running? The Mad Lord's voice, full of incomprehension, echoes from the puppet. Why running? Why running? Why running? Why running? Why running? I'm offering to evolve you into something greater. You. The eyes of the puppet start glowing hot red. And then, if you resist, I have no choice. I'll capture you by force and make sure to definitely evolve you. Goo. The puppet exudes an aura equivalent to the early stage of nascent soul. But that isn't the real problem. Far off in the distance, on the horizon where I had escaped from. Right there, several puppets, similar or even stronger than the one beside me, are chasing after me. If I get caught, I'll be turned into a puppet. Feeling chills all over my body, I start frantically crossing the heaven-treading desert to escape the Mad Lord's grasp. Chapter 132. Mad Lord's Grasp 2. I bite my lip. First, the Mad Lord ascends in a few days. That means, if I can escape his grasp for just a few days, I can survive. Boom. Kuong. As the wasp-winged puppet opens its mouth, a massive explosion occurs, creating a mushroom cloud in the desert. I am not sure if I can last even a few days. In fact, in the case of the Mad Lord's puppets, they can be quickly neutralized by severing their circuits with the formless sword. However, I refrain from rashly doing so, wary of arousing further interest from the Mad Lord. Even if he isn't interested, if he gets enraged about his creation being damaged and starts chasing me personally, that alone is a terrifying prospect. Buzz. I dodge the puppets' attacks, flying over the heaven-treading desert day and night for 3 days. The puppets are indeed troublesome. They don't tire. Although I have some confidence in my stamina, it's not enough right now. It hasn't been long since I underwent complete transformation. I didn't have time to train, nor have I reached the chi building stage to fortify my endurance. I grit my teeth. I hope the Mad Lord leaves as soon as possible. And then, 7 more days pass. Boom. The number of Mad Lord's puppets chasing me has doubled. I grit my teeth even harder. The Mad Lord is still pursuing me, even past the original time head ascend. Damn, this won't work. I need a way to completely shake him off. Flash. Before I knew it, I had left the heaven-treading desert, passed small tribes beneath the desert, and finally arrived at the Black Wind Sea. And then, I begin to see puppets in the shape of fish chasing me from the sea. Right, I feel sorry for Song Jin, but I think to myself as I face the wind of the Black Wind Sea. I need to borrow the Nether Crossing ship for a while. If it's the Mad Lord, Song Jin will understand given the circumstances, right? I fly towards the sea area where the Nether Crossing ship is hidden. Just like that, another 3 days pass. Boom. Dodging the bombardment from the swarm of puppets behind me, I twist my body and force my way through with the formless sword, heading towards the location where the Nether Crossing ship is sealed. Just then, the puppets, that have been silently chasing me for days, suddenly echo the Mad Lord's voice. Unfortunately in 20 days, the Ascension Gate will completely close. It's about time for me to pursue other matters, so I shall leave. Finally, it seems the Mad Lord is giving up on me and preparing for ascension. But his next words are beyond my imagination. However, she said your story is too touching, and she really wants you to join us. Therefore, kiek. Suddenly, far away, the sky is tearing open. She and I have decided to work together to capture you. We will definitely invite you. Click, and what appears through the crack is a white, human-like finger. Just a finger, cooing. As the finger moves, the sea splits, and the earth seems to flip upside down. Exclamation mark. The clouds in the sky split, and the winds of the sea stills. What is this? She is wanting for you. Come here at once. I realize the identity of that finger. The Mad Lord's her. Zap zap. The main energy source of the Nether Crossing ship, implanted inside a puppet, the Mad Lord's greatest creation. Whir. Starting with her finger, a slender white hand gradually crosses over through the crack. Shiver. This is madness, this won't do. From that one hand, from just the palm, am I feeling the same pressure as I did from Song Jin? I realize now, the Mad Lord's her is no ordinary heavenly being puppet. Even though I am just a beginner in the core formation realm with limited insight. Even with my ignorance, the intuition developed over 900 years of life is not to be underestimated. She is probably a 4-axis puppet. The prowess of the Mad Lord sends chills down my spine. Can this monster, from whose palm I feel the same pressure as Song Jin, be anything but a 4-axis puppet? I made up my mind. Fleeing this insane genius for up to 20 days. Impossible. Boom. Through the spatial rift, not just her slender hand but hordes of puppets begin to cross over. Before I know it, the sky over the sea is filled with the Mad Lord's puppets, creating an illusion that the spatial rift is pouring them out. I grit my teeth. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have told the Mad Lord and her my story, trying to gain their sympathy. What should I do now? I ponder for a moment, then open my eyes. This life will probably be the shortest. I imagine being captured by the Mad Lord, trapped in a body unable to die or decay for thousands of years, turned into a living puppet. Even with an extraordinary mental state, I can't bear such madness. I should commit suicide. The thought of abandoning this precious life is excruciating, but the conversation with Yuan Li helped me solidify my understanding of life. Life is not a blessing in itself. It becomes a blessing when hearts are given and received within it. Following this belief, since I haven't formed significant connections or shared hearts with anyone yet, I can forsake this life. I steel my resolve. I will die. Dying is far simpler than figuring out how to live. There are countless ways to die immediately. It's when I am about to blow up my head to end this cycle. Wait, I suddenly remember the colorless glass sword sleeping in my inner core. What happens to this colorless glass sword if I die now? Will it follow me in regression even if I die again, since it recognized me as its owner? Or, since it didn't connect with the white-red wine in this timeline, will it just remain and disappear here if I die? Jolt. A worst-case scenario flashes through my mind. That can never happen. Suicide is easy, but I can't just kill myself right now. I need to consume white-red wine first. Yes, at least I should drink white-red wine before dying. I frantically dodge the puppets, attacks and fly towards the Nether Crossing ship as originally planned. Coo. Her slender hand only reveals up to the wrist, occasionally launching immense ranged attacks at me. Since the hand doesn't have eyes, its accuracy is incredibly low. Of course, the just aftermath is nearly lethal. Damn it. I grit my teeth and enter the sea area where the Nether Crossing ship is sealed. I see the barrier of the Nether Crossing ship. Wo Wang. Using the formless sword wrapped around my body, I break through the barrier and charge towards the Nether Crossing ship. And then, boom, I finally land on the deck of the Nether Crossing ship and quickly move to the control room. I haven't touched the helm of the Nether crossing ship for a long time, but I remember it clearly. Nether crossing ship, start. Rumble. Following my will, the Nether crossing ship begins to rise into the sky. I must go to serving command palace. Just when I am clenching my teeth. This bastard. Coo-goo-goo-goo-goo. From below the Nether crossing ship, a familiar face appears. It's Song Jin. How dare this thief? What are you planning to do with the Nether crossing ship? Without saying much, I sail the Nether crossing ship into the sky and reply. The Mad Lord is chasing me, senior. While fleeing and dodging him, I ended up coming here. I beg for your understanding. What? Hearing the name, Mad Lord, Song Jin's eyes blaze furiously. And then, boom, finally, Mad Lord's puppets break through the barriers of the ceiling area of the Nether crossing ship and reach us. Kuang. Countless puppets of the Mad Lord swarm in. Seeing them, Song Jin's eyes flare with blue fury. This Mad Lord, bastard, how dare you come here again? Haven't you stolen enough from the Nether crossing ship? His voice is laced with mixed wrath. Song Jin looks as if he would devour the Mad Lord on the spot, descending to the deck of the Nether crossing ship to confront the puppets. And when countless puppets try to board the Nether crossing ship, swoosh, dark ghostly mist surrounds the Nether crossing ship, and it enters the void. Phew, I sigh and speak. I apologize, senior. As I mentioned, enough. You're being chased by the Mad Lord, aren't you? Yes. His eyes blaze with blue fury. As insane as the Mad Lord is, he wouldn't abandon Ascension to chase you in this period when the Ascension gate is opened, just hold on a bit longer. Just then, on one side of the void, a spatial rift connected to the mortal realm opens. A familiar slender hand emerges from it. Seeing this, Song Jin shouts. This damn thing, why didn't you say she is chasing you too? Damn it, it's all over. If Mad Lord brought out even that puppet to capture you, then you're done for. I can't help you anymore. The situation is serious enough for even Song Jin to say so. As expected, I ask Song Jin while looking at him. Senior, perhaps suicide is the right choice. Oh, what an ingenious method. If you die, your soul will be sealed in the Nether crossing ship to pay for sailing it without permission, so be aware of that. Regardless of Song Jin's growling, I grab the helm of the Nether crossing ship. I already know the coordinates of serving command palace at this time. Then, if I'm going to commit suicide, I might as well use the Nether crossing ship a bit more before I do. What? Flash. I glance at the dazzling, space-distorting slender hand in the distance and move the Nether crossing ship. Flash. The Nether crossing ship enters the space in the mortal realm, and from there, I direct it towards the coordinates of serving command palace. What a tumultuous time in such a short duration. I click my tongue, seeing serving command palace floating in the void in front of me. I weave pure spiritual force and create the barrier-breaking scroll. When I finish creating the scroll, again, a space rift connected to the mortal realm opens, and her slender hand stretches out. Boom. After annihilating the prohibition, I enter the interior of serving command palace. The floor with white-red wine. I frantically ascend to the upper floors of serving command palace, searching for the immortal wine. I found it. Quang. Using the formless sword, I cut all the main circuits inside the barrier and furiously hammer it. And then, crackle, one side of serving command palace begins to crumble. Shiver. What appears, as the wall of serving command palace crumbles, is her slender hand, which has already emerged up to the wrists. I feel a chill from the explosive force emanating from her slender hand. Quickly, snap, she spreads her hand, and then, quang, my formless sword finally breaks the barrier. I already know which jar contains white-red wine. Pop, I hastily open the lid of the white-red wine and gulp it down directly from the jar. Once again, the Dharma treasures placed inside my body buzz, deepening their connection with me. Certainly, I distinctly feel the connection between my soul and the Dharma treasures. It's then, a tremendous gravitational force is felt from her hand. It feels like I am being directly sucked in. Indeed, my body is being drawn towards her hand. Resistance is impossible. Damn, no, this won't do. I need another method. Rumble. In the distance, Song Jin-ho holds the helm of the Nether crossing ship and crosses into the mortal realm. I clench my teeth and take the starting form. In the life before last, I followed Kim Young-hoon's footsteps, discovering treading heaven beyond the path. And in my last life, I finally killed Yuan Li, fully reaching treading heaven beyond the path. Certainly, I have entered a different path than Kim Young-hoon. That's why, instead of his space-transcending surpassing radiant saber, my formless sword evolved to cut only what I want. But, I am certain, my formless sword cut through space that one time. For a moment, it became Kim Young-hoon's surpassing radiant saber. That means, perhaps, can those who have reached treading heaven beyond the path mimic others treading heaven beyond the path? Think it through, find a way in your mind. I ignite the upper dantian with Gang Chi, awakening it. The flow starts from my Baihui point, heading towards the Yin Tang point, igniting the upper dantian with Gang Chi. I recall that sensation. The formless sword originates from severing mountain swordsmanship, and the surpassing radiant saber from severing vein saber method. And the root of both martial arts are actually one. Then, tracing back the formless sword, is it truly impossible to temporarily reach the space-cutting surpassing radiant saber? Of course, it's impossible to completely obtain the surpassing radiant saber. However, if it's just mimicking the ability for a brief moment. Flash. Simultaneously with my focused diligence, she suddenly looms before my eyes, her hand gripping something. I, with all my strength in the empty void, slash down with what is held in my hand. Swoosh. The formless sword, for an instant, shines with a brilliant golden radiance. At the same time, flash, I escape the void and reach the mortal realm. Wo Wang. Far off, Song Jin, who had just escaped the void like me, is seen grasping the helm of the nether crossing ship. Thump. I fly towards the nether crossing ship and catch my breath. What is this? Didn't you say you were going to commit suicide? If you're going to kill yourself, do it after getting off the nether crossing ship. Song Jin shouts, seemingly afraid of her pursuing us again. Gasping for air, I suddenly become curious about something. Perhaps, do you know any techniques that can attach a ghost to the depths of the soul? I do know something like that. Can you perform it on me? Why should I do that for you? Damn it, I forgot that to Song Jin, I am a stranger who briefly hijacked his nether crossing ship. Just then, Wo Wang, a spatial rift tears open, and her slender jade hand emerges once again. This time, as if determined not to let go, her arm extends up to the elbow. Damn it, get off the nether crossing ship now. Hurry. Alright, fine, I'll perform that spell for you. Wo Wang. Song Jin takes out a ghost from the nether crossing ship and injects it directly into my upper dantian. Kia. With an unpleasant foreign sensation, I feel the ghost's soul attached to me, guided by Song Jin's power. For a moment, the ghost and I are connected. Get off now. And, as if obeying Song Jin's command, the ghost, now linked with my soul, forcibly controls my body and makes me jump off the nether crossing ship. Goo. Her hand reaches out towards me, and at the very last moment, I concentrate the energy of the formless sword towards my head. Boom. That is my 12th return. Chapter 133, 12th Cycle's First Day. Zing. I woke up with a slight headache. Apparently, the shock of blowing up my head was great. And that too, I realize this is the first time I had directly committed suicide. Better to choose death than suffer a fate worse than death. Feelings of sadness, anger, regret, and guilt for having wasted a life wash over me. In addition, I shouldn't approach the Mad Lord carelessly. The thought sends shivers down my spine. Just what is that old monster? I shake my head, dispelling these thoughts. More importantly, jolt. Once again, I begin to feel a tearing pain around my abdomen. Pain like being gutted with a knife. But I smile. Once again, it has been transmitted. The effects of the white red wine worked. And if the connection to my soul has also been transmitted, it's when I focus my consciousness. Zing. The headache, which has been present earlier, intensifies as I concentrate. What's this? It hurts. It's like my soul is being engorged with a knife. Is it not just the lingering pain of blowing up my head with the formless sword? The headache continues, boring into my mind as I focus on it. Something is off. The size of my consciousness isn't the issue. The 5 elements blood curse banner is still in place, sealing my consciousness. It isn't the same headache I had before my head exploded. This pain is like when flesh is torn away. Yes. I finally realize what is wrong. My soul has been torn away. Not much, but torn nonetheless. Like a slight peeling of skin on the body. But definitely a sensation of being torn, and the area of the soul that was torn is clear. It's exactly where the ghost connected with my soul. Indeed, the ghost was torn away along with the part of my soul it was connected to and disappeared. Which means, Dharma treasures can return with me, but if a sentient being tries to travel through time with me, it gets torn away. From the looks of the wound on my soul, rather than being deliberately ripped or cut by someone, it seems as if it had been caught on something rough and torn away while trying to pass through. Inanimate objects connected to me are somewhat allowed, but sentient beings are a problem. I smile bitterly. If it had been revealed that the ghost had also returned, perhaps the souls of my companions, and even Hyunghwa's soul, might be. No, it's fine. I erase my random thoughts. After all, each life is unique, so I should cherish it all the more. Yes, that's all I need to do. Just when I am organizing my thoughts. Wo Wang, I slightly tilt my head, dodging the hand aimed at my cheek. Why you dodged it? Thinking about it, I forgot that I usually put my colleagues to sleep with a sleep spell, being preoccupied with verifying the experiment of the Dharma treasure and the ghost. This bastard, do you even realize what you just did? Aha, somehow, it's a very welcome voice. This voice, hasn't it been quite a long time since I last heard it? He seems to be fussily bouncing around and saying something to me, but I just smirk and pat him on the shoulder. Getting too angry isn't good for your mental health. Calm down. What? Listening to this guy, who's in his early 30s, swear after being chased by madmen over 900 years old like Yuan Li or over 1600 years old like the Mad Lord, somehow. It's quite cute. It feels like a 3-year-old toddling in front of me. Honestly, even if I had been slapped just now, I wouldn't have felt too bad. What else does this guy know to do besides hitting me on the cheek and cursing cutely? He's not going to catch and turn me into a puppet, nor suddenly massacre people around him to consume them. Co union u $% and $% carrot. Alright, take a deep breath. I pat the guy's shoulder as he tries to punch me frantically and eventually collapses from exhaustion without landing a single blow. Kim Young-hoon, Chief O, Deputy Kong Min-hee, Deputy Oh Hai-seo, and Team Leader Kim Yi-and look at me with worried eyes. Leaving behind the panting Jaeon Myung-hoon, I look at my colleagues for the first time in a while. It's been a really long time since I've seen them. They're still chattering about finding the SUV or figuring out where we are, unaware that this world is different. Suddenly, I feel an unusual sensation looking at them. Then, for the first time in a long time, I speak to them. I'll go climb that tree and check if there's a road or our car nearby. Deputy CO, can you climb the tree? Yes, just wait a moment. To that, with my hands behind my back, I climb the tree using only my legs, finally controlling my vital force chi and muscle movements to the extreme without relying on internal energy. Then, I quickly climb to the top of the tree, observe the landscape in the direction of the ascension gate, and come down to them. There's nothing around. No, how did you just do that? Chief O look at me with a stunned expression. After all, I had just casually climbed up and down a tree several meters high with my hands clasped behind my back. I vaguely answer, well, I don't know. Ever since I opened my eyes here, I've just felt somehow lighter. Once again, my colleagues split into two groups. Deputy Oh Hai-seo and Team Leader Kim Yi-and go to the cave with me, while Deputy Kong Min-hee, Section Chief Jaeon Myung-hoon, Kim Young-hoon, and Chief Oh Yun-sok go out to find the SUV. Oh, a cave. That's right. They settle in the cave, observing inside. I gather branches with them to make a windbreak and a bonfire. This time, I don't need Kim Young-hoon's lighter. Chiak. When I rub a suitable branch against the surface of a slightly dry tree, fire ignites on the tree's surface. It's a martial arts technique of momentarily tightening muscles to create extreme acceleration. I transfer the fire to the kindling and then swing the branch again to extinguish the fire on the tree surface. How did you do that? Deputy Oh Hai-seo asks me with wide eyes. Again, I vaguely reply. It just worked. Later, I gather fruits from nearby trees and roast them with the two, waiting for the other colleagues. As evening comes, the other colleagues return, and I share the fruits with them. Jaeon Myung-hoon initially refused to eat what I offered, but after I persistently persuaded him, he ate the fruit while cursing. We chat late into the night. It's been a very long time. It's been almost 400 years since I last had such a relaxed conversation with them. In my past lives, I was entangled in hunting the fox and private meetings with the Mad Lord right from the start, so I couldn't properly converse with these people. The lives before that were almost 400 to 500 years ago, so I felt a very new sensation now. Of course, Deputy CO, is your smartphone still not getting a signal? No data either, really where are we? Data, what was that again? I vaguely remember smartphones. They seem to be something like a transmission device. But details like data are a bit hazy in my memory. It's something I used 900 years ago, and I haven't heard of it in a few hundred years, so it's a bit confusing. I'll have to ask Kim Young-hoon about modern artifacts or memories from the company later. As my consciousness expands, my memory improves, but still, it's been 900 years. It's been a long time since I met my modern colleagues, so some things have become faint. Deputy CO, the GPS is dead too, and the air is suspiciously clean. Are we really in Korea? That's what I'm saying. I find it hard to understand their conversation and difficult to join in. But still, it feels good to chat with my colleagues after such a long time. Whoosh. As all my colleagues fall asleep, I head outside to where a yellow bamboo root is. I missed the time to eat the yellow bamboo root before because I didn't put my colleagues to sleep right away. Crunch, crunch. I ate the ginseng and underwent complete transformation. As my consciousness domain properly settles, it completely fills the surroundings without needing to be sealed with the 5 elements blood curse banner. The consciousness domain of a core formation. It's as vast as the fox demons. Phew, I feel the internal energy flowing in my dantian and then get up from my spot. I don't bother to form an inner core. An inner core can be formed anytime, and more importantly, wo wung wo wung wo wung. I float a gang sphere into the air. The gang sphere begins to split. With an inner core, creating and splitting a gang sphere becomes much easier, which is why I used to bother forming one. My body is already skilled in using gang spheres for over 500 years. Now, even without an inner core, it's possible to create and split a gang sphere. Wo wung wo wung wo wung. 9 gang spheres line up in the air. Swoosh. The 9 gang spheres melt and combine with my domain of consciousness to form the formless sword. I grab the formless sword and concentrate my mind. Even though I didn't become one with the formless sword after creating the inner core. The true value of treading heaven beyond the path is to fully draw out the real power of beyond the path to heaven. In other words, if I had handled it before. Wo wung wo wung wo wung. It's possible to handle it now. Pete. The formless sword transforms. More transparent and ethereal. There's no visible difference, but swoosh. When I swing the formless sword, the surface of a nearby tree remains intact, but the inside is cut cleanly. Indeed, I can reproduce the realm of treading heaven beyond the path to some extent. Of course, implementing treading heaven beyond the path with just the formless sword without an inner core is much more mentally draining and troublesome. But anyhow, it's feasible. It's when I am contemplating the realm of treading heaven beyond the path. Boom. A familiar creature appears. It's the fox. How dare you, when the master of the forest is perfectly healthy. It seems to have woken up and come here after sensing my consciousness domain, which has reached core formation. Without waiting for it to speak, I immediately swing the formless sword. Swoosh. .. Exclamation mark. My formless sword permeates through the fox's skin and flesh and reaches where its demon core resides. Then, it spreads in all directions, touching the major organs of the fox. At this moment, if I want to, I can extract its demon core and organs, leaving only the skin intact. If I quietly extract the demon core, even the Mad Lord won't notice. The eyes of the fox are filled with fear. Shiver. I calmly watch it tremble for a while. And then, shortly after, swoosh, I withdraw the formless sword from its body. The fox, realizing the overwhelming difference between us, shuts its mouth, stares at me with trembling eyes. I'll spare your life. Thank you very m. Hand over your demon core. Exclamation mark. I felt a sudden impulse to help this demon fox a little. That. Do you prefer handing over a split demon core, or prefer handing over a perfectly fine demon core? As I pressure the fox with the formless sword, it groans and eventually spits out a pure white orb from its mouth. Wo wung wo wung. As I catch the white orb, the fox's body gradually shrinks. Eventually, it turns back into a normal fox with only 3 tails. Ackk. In a state of lost intelligence, the fox looks at me in a daze. Upon seeing its demon core in my hand, it shows a covetous look. Wo wung. I catch the back of the fox's neck with my formless sword and drag it in front of me. The fox yelps and cries out in fear. Be quiet. Stay by my side for a few days. After smacking the fox's head, I bring it with me into the cave. The next day, my company colleagues, especially the female staff, are astonished to see the 3-tailed fox that appeared in the cave. What is this? A mutation. More importantly, it's cute. Kim Young-hoon and Chi Fo-yun-sok's eyes widen at the sight of the three-tailed fox, and even Jaeon Myung-hoon's eyes bulge. What is this? It's a monster. They gather and talk about the fox. Then, SSSSSSSSs. A two-headed red snake appears again. It's also been a while since I've seen this guy. Who? Man. SSS. A peculiar scent is coming off you. Slither. Your blood. Then, the snake looks into my eyes as it is speaking. SSSSSSs. As I reveal my domain of consciousness and emit killing intent, the snake shuts its mouth. Well, if you go that way, there's a tree with delicious fruits. You will enjoy the view of the ridge. The snake glances at me and then quickly turns and flees. The company colleagues are shocked to see the talking two-headed snake. They fearfully discuss that this place is not a normal world. I watch them for a while, waiting for the heavenly beings to arrive in a few days. A few days later, rumble, rumble, familiar faces arrive. Grand Elder Heo Gwak of Black Ghost Valley, Sect Master Jin Baek Ho of Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect, and founder of Azure Heaven Creation Sect Azure Tiger Saint Cheonmin Sunwoo. The three heavenly beings descend from the sky and select their disciples. This time, since I haven't formed an inner core and am suppressing my core formation level consciousness with the 5 elements blood curse banner and hidden consciousness technique, I am of no interest to them. After Jin Baek Ho roughly tests the qualities, everyone loses interest at the mention of 5 elements spiritual roots. Had they inspected more closely, they might have discovered the 5 elements blood curse banner. Once they confirmed the presence of 5 elements spiritual roots, they seemed to lose interest altogether. The one who showed some interest was Azure Tiger Saint. You have a core formation demon beast's demon core. That's right. Perhaps. Azure Tiger Saint speaks to me. Could you deliver that demon core to the Cheonmin clan in Biokra? It might be helpful to my descendants. Wo Wang. Azure Tiger Saint stamps a recommendation for the Cheonmin clan on the back of my hand. If you deliver it, use this recommendation to become an external member of the Cheonmin clan. How about it, Tisk? Why are you trying to persuade him? He's just a mere chi refining kid. If it were me, I would have just snatched it. Jin Baek Ho grunts as he looks at Azure Tiger Saint who is trying to persuade me, and then tosses Jaeon Myung-hoon into his own storage artifact. Azure Tiger Saint clicks his tongue. Why snatch something from a young junior? Besides, for us, having that demon core is just a bonus. HMPH. We're leaving first. Black Ghost Valley and Golden Divine Heavenly Thunder Sect leaves before Azure Tiger Saint, who then pats my shoulder. Follow us. Other heavenly beings will come too, so if you want to leave Ascension Path, you can ask them. I can't tamper with space right now as I'm raising the power of the blue sky armor. Still, it's an auspicious time as it's the period for ascension. If you ask, the other heavenly being cultivators will surely listen. After saying this, he flies off, following Jin Baek Ho and Heo Gwak. I watch Azure Tiger Saint fly away. The next day, Kuring Kururung, Seo Weol appears. Muttering whatever to himself, Seo Weol again flies away, holding Deputy O in his arms. This time, I chose not to speak to him or even look at him. I'm sorry, Deputy O Hi Seo. It's already determined. There's an attraction of fate, and every time I try to defy it, it only hastens the outcome. In this life, I have no intention of trying hard to pass my colleagues on to better heavenly beings. After all, with my current power, I can't change anything. Taking action unnecessarily might only bring more confusing results without changing anything. I'm sorry, everyone. I watch, pained, as Deputy Oh Hi Seo also leaves us, leaving Kim Yeon and Kim Young-hoon distraught. Then, in the evening, Kim Yeon awakens her consciousness, and the Mad Lord appears. Shiver. Seeing the familiar face of the Mad Lord sends a chill through my body, but I manage not to show it and carefully hide my intent and heart essence. The Mad Lord declares he will take Kim Yeon as his disciple and then lifts me and Kim Young-hoon, throwing us into a spatial rift. Using sword control, I also pull the yelping fox, grab it by the neck, and fall through the spatial rift into the void. Beyond the spatial rift, as Kim Young-hoon and I are about to disappear, she desperately reaches out to us. Seeing the color of Kim Yeon's intent, I finally understand what Kim Young-hoon was talking about in Cheonsak City. Quote! Gasp, gasp. I open my eyes beyond the void, suddenly feeling breathless. This place. Formless sword. Boom, kuong, cough. I gasp for air. Mad Lord, this lunatic. I gasped for air, looking at where I emerged. I appeared, underground, randomly teleporting. Does that include underground? It's fortunate that I have the formless sword in this situation. Wait, I hurriedly expand my consciousness domain to find Kim Young-hoon. Kim Young-hoon and the fox are also trapped underground. I dig through the ground with the formless sword, rescuing them both and looking around. Familiar characters and language. This place is. A person just popped out from the earth. What's that? He's wearing strange clothes. It's the bustling area of Yangguo. I approach one of the people surrounding me and ask. Is this Yangguo's? Ah, never mind. I recall from my memory where this place is. Yangguo's Lianshan City, the city where I first landed in my very first life. It's also been a long time since I've been here. Carrying the unconscious Kim Young-hoon and the fox, I quickly move away from people's sight using my movement technique. Then, I swiftly clear nearby bandit groups and collect money. In a flash, I arrange an identity badge and a residence for Kim Young-hoon. While Kim Young-hoon is still asleep, I quickly proceed with the tasks. I hire a caretaker and a scholar to teach him additional language, writing, and culture. And then, I leave in Kim Young-hoon's mind all the essential martial art techniques. In addition, the martial principles to reach 5 energies converging to the origin, ultimate pinnacle, path beyond the heavens, and treading heaven beyond the path. Then, I throw the demon core I have been keeping to the fox. Gulp. The fox swallows the demon core and again reveals its gigantic form inside the residence. It looks at me, its eyes trembling. If you had stayed in Ascension Path during the opening of the Ascension Gate, your demon core would have been extracted. Thank you, Senior. I have a request. Yes, please give me your command. Protect this human in exchange for sparing you. I point at Kim Young-hoon. The fox immediately lays flat and nods its head like mad. Yes, it'll return someday, so don't indulge in cannibalism. I understand. I will remember. Good. After a moment's glance at Kim Young-hoon, I set off to complete the remaining tasks in this life. I confirmed what I need to do. Now reaching a realm comparable to nascent soul and having achieved treading heaven beyond the path. What's left is finish my tasks and return to Ascension Path. Since the days I practiced martial arts and dreamed of becoming a cultivator. A goal set a long time ago. Now that I possess at least the minimum force, it's time. I gaze up at the sky. I'm going to investigate the Ascension Gate. It's something that has to be done at some point. I could get caught in a spatial storm and possibly die. But even so, it's a goal I have planned since a very long time ago. Now it's time to investigate it at least once. I'm sorry, everyone, I couldn't protect any of my colleagues. So, in this life, I will dedicate myself to finding a way back home. I quickly soar through the void. Translator notes. Haha, the snake demon was talking slowly on purpose the entire time. Chapter 134, Baihui 1. After distancing myself from Kim Young-hoon, I first begin to form the inner core in a nearby mountain. Wo wug wo wang. The inner core is formed. I gather the energy from all over my body to the Baihui point, located at the top of my head. Baihui, meaning 100 meetings, is called so because it is where 100 meridians converge. It is also the most crucial part of the body that connects with the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. As energy gathers at the Baihui, I can feel the inner core melting into it. The melted inner core disperses into the meridians of my body, connecting with the formless sword in my grasp. The formless sword permeates my entire body, flowing through my meridians. With my eyes closed, I gather the formless sword at the Baihui and integrate it at my upper dantian. Fully embodying the formless sword, I become the sword itself. I can feel the power to draw out strength from each and every cell through the formless sword. Conversely, I can also use my flesh and blood to draw out the power of the formless sword to its extreme. And that extreme of the formless sword is precisely Pete. When I swing my sword, I can feel the heaven and earth spiritual energy of the surrounding mountain veins being cut off in an instant. The power to cut what I desire. Did Yuan Li call it planes? I wasn't sure exactly what he meant by planes, but as my formless sword is honed to the extreme, I vaguely feel something. It's a vague sense of crossing something similar to a dimension. I realize that my imitation of the surpassing radiant saber to cut through space might have been possible because both the formless sword and the surpassing radiant saber's abilities are related to dimensions. Well, I'll have to keep using the formless sword in the treading heaven realm to confirm. I resume my thoughts as I propel myself from my spot. Whoosh. As I became one with the formless sword, I flew much faster than the flying escape technique. It's time to take care of the tasks I need to do. In Yangguo, there are things to be done. The first is, I need to see their faces. I have never missed a visit in any cycle. This cycle will be no exception. I swiftly fly to the Jin clan. They are asleep. I look over the sleeping children in the quarters who were receiving training. Quote. I'm sorry. I speak to my former disciples, looking around at them. Living has taught me that sometimes, people must plunge into things they know might kill them. This is an apology to those children. In my short-sightedness and obstinacy, I forced my will upon you all without knowing that. Of course, I had my reasons back then. Assassination attempts that were certain to lead to death. Cultivation techniques that exploit the grievances of relatives, inflating hatred beyond measure. Seeing their intent, watching them love each other, rejoice, and even find happiness in their hatred, I wished they could live. But that was the position of the powerless. If I wanted them to live, I should have risked my life and assassinated the emperor in advance. There are many excuses, but one thing I have to say is clear. I couldn't do anything for you then, but now I will use my power for you. Live well. Leaving the quarters, I bow to the building, as once their master. A bow is not only a sign of respect but also a gesture of gratitude. I am thankful to those children who are a part of my fate. I head to the Jin clan's soul storage warehouse. Numerous crystal orbs are stored there. I swing my formless sword. Shik. My formless sword cuts the cultivation technique that links the crystal orbs and the souls. The technique is severed, and the souls begin to emerge from their orbs, slowly dissipating. I speak to them. Your children, those who survived, will live peacefully for the rest of their lives in the Jin clan. They will be happy for generations. May you find peace in the afterlife. The souls tremble for a while upon hearing my voice, then ascend to the heavens. After a while, as the soul storage warehouse is about to set off an alarm, I cut that technique as well and left the Jin clan unhurriedly. Now, in Yangguo, the only thing left to do is Mockley clan. Those traitors who betrayed the alliance in my past life need to be purged. I can't think of a single reason for you to remain in this world. Whoosh. I fly towards the Mockley clan's main house, which I had learned of as a decisive member of the alliance. The Mockley clan's main house is a place very familiar to me. The capital of Yangguo, Seokyung City. Whoosh. Tearing through the air, I arrive above Seokyung City. Then, after observing below for a moment, I plunge straight towards the center of Seokyung City. Boom! My body, like the formless sword, pierces through the center of Seokyung City and heads underground. Kugwagwagwa. After drilling through the ground for a while, I finally come across a vast empty cavity. Kugugugugu. The underground den, likely under spatial compression by the Mockley clan, is immensely vast inside. It's so big that a small mountain range was fit inside. Rumble. And above that mountain range, there stands a huge palace, from which a heavy scent of decay and a thick devilish energy emanates. I have heard before that this place was not originally the Mockley clan's main stronghold. It was the headquarters of the Devil Path Alliance. The Mockley clan had been living there as tenants in a small land under that very palace. But now, with the entire alliance ascending to the higher realms, the Mockley clan had taken over the empty cave. Whoosh. I fly towards the main house of the Mockley clan, cutting through the air. The ceiling of the cavity is lit by incredible glowing stones, making it as bright as day. Thus, I arrived at the palace. Two chi building cultivators of the Mockley clan block the palace entrance and approach me. Greetings, senior. Are you a core formation senior? They must have thought I used the flying escape technique seeing me fly without a magic artifact. Although it isn't a flight technique, their judgment isn't bad. Anyway, I am indeed their senior. However, there are 3 things I need to correct you on. First, I am not at core formation. Oh, so you must be a Taoist who has mastered a unique method. Second, I am neither your Taoist nor your senior. Sensing something off from my stern tone, the gatekeeper's expressions start to harden. Third, I don't wish to receive any greetings from you, so keep them to yourself. They ask with stern faces. What brings you here? I've come to make a few demands. If you comply, I will leave. I begin listing my demands to them. 1. Stop sacrificing innocent lives for elixir making. 2. Abandon your dirty foundations in Yangguo and leave for somewhere else. 3. Hold a ritual for those you've killed for your elixirs. With each point I make, their faces turn red and then pale. If you comply with these terms, I will spare your clan. What do you say? You, insane. The 2 early chi building cultivators, faces red with anger, reach out towards me. Die, you madman. Whoosh. A strong force, accompanied by the smell of corpses, tries to push me back. I just snort and swing my hand. Boong kuong. With my gesture, one of them is split in half along with the palace door behind him. Ah, the remaining early chi building cultivator, seeing my might, steps back with his mouth agape. Core formation cultivator. He turns pale and flees in haste. But, after he takes 5 steps, he falls to the ground, split into 3 pieces. Ignoring them, I walk through the split doors. Step, inside the dark palace. Once the main headquarters of the Devil Path Alliance, I feel the gaze of hundreds. 8 powerful auras press down on me. Kugugugugu, the head of the Mokli clan, Mokli Wangqian, and the 7 core formation elders. How dare this madman attack the Mokli clan? Just as the heavenly being seniors are ascending, he's running wild. Such disrespect. One of the elders growl at me. Judging by the power in his meridians, he's at best core formation. No, he doesn't even seem to have a core, maybe chi building. Is he out of his mind causing a ruckus here? You won't be able to leave here in one piece. Let's see how the elixir made from your boiled body will turn out. A pack of dogs, barking loudly. And the leader of the wild dogs, Mokli Wangqian, sits quietly on his throne, just watching me. I smirk. You're all barking like dogs, but everyone is tense, right? Since if I am not really crazy, then I must have something to be confident in to have invaded like this. I don't have the power of a core formation cultivator, just a strong force flowing through my meridians like chi building cultivators. It wouldn't be strange for them to mistake me for a chi building cultivator. However, the power I have achieved is completely different from cultivation methods. Since it's noisy, all of you come at me at once. I'll show them the power I've attained in treading heaven. Kugugugugu. I begin to draw out the power of the formless sword, now completely one with myself. The head of the Mokli clan, Mokli Wangqian, stands up from his seat. At the same time, the 7 elders of the Mokli clan also rise from their positions. 350 chi building elders of the Mokli clan also stand up. Kugugugu. Around Mokli Wangqian, a tornado surges upwards. Daring to challenge the Mokli clan, you madman. I'll show you the power of the Mokli clan. Xiao Unyun and the Mokli clan collide. Quang quang quang. Hundreds of Mokli clan cultivators against the Soul Xiao Unyun clash. And then, exclamation mark question mark. Question mark. Question mark. Mokli Wangqian, along with the elders, and all the members of the council look around with wide eyes. They unleashed their full power on the unidentified intruder. But instead, they were the ones who were thrown out of the palace. What is this? Just then, step, outside the palace, Xiao Unyun walks out. My demands, once again, are simple. 1. Stop making human elixirs. 2. Leave Yangguo. 3. Hold a sacred ritual for the deceased used in the elixirs. He looks around with a chilling gaze. This is my last mercy and demand. You'd better accept it. Mokli Wangqian frowns and shouts. A cultivator who has mastered strange techniques. Everyone, brace yourselves. Who? Xiao Unyun sighs. I have shown mercy even to you. Don't blame me. And then, he begins to use his power. Kugugugu. The formless sword is a kind of gang sphere. And the gang sphere and inner core, apart from one being connected to life, are essentially the same. From such a concept, Kim Young-hoon's external inner core was created. A method of connecting his life force to the external path beyond the heavens gang sphere enhancing it. Now, ascending to the treading heaven realm, along with the inner core inside the body, the path beyond the heavens that has fully merged with the body is also considered an external inner core. In fact, it's much more efficient than an external inner core. Not an artificially created Gangchi meridian, but truly connected to life. Therefore, the formless sword of Xiao Unyun who has reached treading heaven beyond the path is completely different in enhancement compared to the path beyond the heavens. Xiao Unyun swings his hand. Something connected to his hand swung. Quang. Mokli Wangqian manages to hastily dodge with a dreadful premonition, and the heaven and earth spiritual energy at his position is cut off. Osik. It's dangerous. Mokli Wangqian grits his teeth and forms a seal. Corpse river. Kugugugu. A green river smelling of rotting corpses pour out from the palace, covering Xiao Unyun. Along with other core formation cultivators, they also begin to form their spells. Dragon and demon ghost summoning yin. Wind summoning devil dragon transformation. Yin water gathering fire. Although there are slight differences in attributes, generally yin-based spells strike Xiao Unyun. Xiao Unyun only swings his hand in response. Wallach. Bang bang bang. Their spells explode at once by something transparent swung in a crescent moon shape. Xiao Unyun swings his hand again. A bizarre darkness. Around him, an invisible storm begins to rage. Colorless trajectories swirl, growing larger. Quagagagaga. The palace of the Mowgli clan closest to him is the first to be cut by the force of the trajectories. And the colorless whirlwind grows, covering the entire Mowgli clan. Block it. Damn it. Several core formation elders attempt to block the colorless trajectory with their Dharma treasures, but the treasures crumble, unable to pierce through the colorless storm. Landscape painting. Kugugugugu. The raging storm suddenly transforms, altering the trajectory. Flash. In the next moment, colorless trajectories whirl in all directions, slashing through the entire cavity. Mountains are split, and cracks form throughout the den. Mowgli Wang Qian's expression hardens. Non-nascent soul cultivator. At the very least, this is clearly not a core formation cultivator. Until the end, Mowgli Wang Qian ponders Xiao Unyun's trajectory. It's definitely beyond core formation, but to call it nascent soul, isn't it too weak? However, his decision is swift. Even if it's not nascent soul, at the very least it's an equivalent force. I've misjudged. Everyone listen. This man is a nascent soul old monster. A nascent soul old monster who hid from the heavenly being seniors, now attacking the Mowgli clan. His words continue. However, this place is the stronghold of the Mowgli clan and where the Devil Path Alliance once stood. As the successors of the Devil Path Alliance's spirit, we will never yield to a nascent soul old monster. Mowgli Wang Qian ponders. The power is definitely beyond core formation, but it's too weak for nascent soul. Just like that person in the desert. But compared to the hidden power of the desert cultivator, his attacks are simple and weak. This guy. Greed flickers in the eyes of Mowgli Wang Qian. If we mobilize the entire power of the Mowgli clan, we can capture him. He smirks. The Jiangshi made from a nascent soul cultivator's corpse, just thinking about its power makes my heart race. Capturing the nascent soul old monster, the Mowgli clan will leap to greatness once again. Upon his declaration, the elders solemnly draw out all their Dharma treasures. The Chi-building elders also simultaneously start forming hand seals in unison. Unleash an all-out attack. Block the nascent soul old monster. Rumble. Numerous spells, Dharma treasures, and magic artifacts fly towards Xiao Unyun. Boom. Yin energy explodes, and spells formed of devilish energy assault Xiao Unyun. The Chi-building elders pull out wartime weapons from the clan's arsenal and activate them against Xiao Unyun. Siege weapons fly towards him, and numerous devilish fire and Jiangshi legions swarm him like a tide. Numerous formation barriers in the Mowgli clan's palace activates, restricting Xiao Unhyun's power. Against all that, Xiao Unyun swings his sword. Ah, we're being sucked in. Block it, block it. Severing mountain swordsmanship, layered mountains. Kugwagwagwa. Colorless trajectory extends in all directions, filling the entire space. Dozens of Chi-building cultivators are split apart, and several parts of core formation elders' bodies are torn off. The colorless trajectory, spreading in all directions, writhe like tentacles. Severing mountain swordsmanship, mountain echoes valley responds. Ting. The writhing trajectory turns into a wave, echoing throughout the entire cavity, causing everyone except Xiao Unyun inside to vomit blood at once. Severing mountain swordsmanship, flowing ridge. Kugugugu. The colorless trajectory twists and sweeps away the gathered Chi-building cultivators and 3 core formation elders. Kugugugu. And then, the aura of Xiao Unyun, integrated with the formless sword, begins to grow even stronger. Block it, block it, set up the formation. The nascent soul old monster is using his power. Stop the old monster. Ah, severing mountain swordsmanship, Chi mountain heart heaven. He, clad in colorless trajectory, steps forward step by step. Like a mountain lord soaring over the mountains. The movement technique of the mountain lord's soaring flight, tailored to Xiao Unyun and fused with the formless sword, becomes a fierce weapon in itself. A giant colorless tiger leaps. Led by 8 core formation cultivators, hundreds of Chi-building cultivators are swept away by the flight of the lord. By time, the formation is almost complete. Mowgli Wang Qian clenches his teeth and shouts. This is the Mowgli clan's stronghold and the main base of the Devil Path Alliance that they have inherited. The formations spread here are by no means simple. And finally, form the seal, Yin spirit, devilish fire, 3 core formation cultivators and 150 chi building cultivators. Each group, thus composed, forms different seals. In the center, Mokli Wang Qian and the Mokli Grand Elder simultaneously form hand seals, completing the formation. Yin Spirit Devilish Fire Ghost Formation. Activate. Simultaneously. Rumble. From the Mokli clan's palace, black devilish fire surges, engulfing Xiao Unyun. The yin energy emitted from the devilish fire forms a barrier, and from the barrier, numerous ghostly wails erupt, creating symbols that complete the barrier. 8 core formation cultivators, from all 8 directions, simultaneously form seals. Seal. Kugugugugu. Shortly after, a dark green barrier seals the rampaging Xiao Unyun. Struggling within the devilish fire, his consciousness will be gradually suppressed, and he will be refined into a Jiangshi ha-ha. Ha 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 ha. Mokli Wang Qian bursts into laughter. Look, everyone, the Mokli clan has successfully captured and is refining a nascent soul-old monster. He clenches his fists and looks around at the elders. Everyone, contact our territories through the communication division. We need more pure blood. Using more pure blood to refine the Jiangshi, we can truly. Just then, crash, Mokli Wang Qian's face stiffens as he turns to the loud noise behind him. There, he sees the barrier cracked all over. Quote. What? Crack. Once again, a loud noise echoes. Crack. Simultaneously. Kukwik. From inside the flaming barrier, Xiao Unyun's hand bursts through. Quadukduk. Xiao Unyun's hand slowly tears apart the barrier. The colorless trajectory in his hand causes the barrier to crumble, widening the cracks. And then, Kukwik, his other hand also bursts through the barrier, and he begins widening the breach with both hands. Within the devilish fire, Xiao Unyun's eyes blaze like ghostly fire. Not a bad attempt, but you made one mistake. Whoosh, Xiao Unyun emerges from the devilish fire with a pale smile. You shouldn't have boasted after sealing me, you should have run away. How can this be? A mid-stage nascent soul cultivation should be required to break such a barrier. Mokli Wang Qian loses his composure and shouts. Xiao Unyun's eyes explode with brilliance. I may be weaker than the typical nascent soul, but I have a bit of an edge in specialized areas. Early, mid, late, those don't mean much in front of me. Is shish. Finally, Xiao Unyun, fully emerged from the devilish fire, raises one hand. You should have accepted my mercy when it was offered. Those still not fleeing have courageously chosen to enter the gate of death, correct? Kugugugugugu. Colorless trajectories boil over his entire body. From now on, I will end the Mokli clan. The next moment, his pupils seethe pure white. Severing mountain swordsmanship. Ultimate technique. Severing mountain. Kugugugugugu. A colorless storm fills the cavity so densely that no one could find a foothold. The mountain range where the palace stood is split into thousands of pieces. The Mokli clan's palace is torn apart, turning into dust. Phew, and thus, the Mokli clan, one of the twin pillars of Yangguo and rulers of the imperial family for hundreds of years, disappeared into the annals of history that very day. Chapter 135, Bai Hui 2. Tap tap, I dust off my clothes and look back. Whoosh, from the ground I emerged, dust rose up. Crack, I move my formless sword, covering the dirt a bit more. Although I had extensively destroyed the palace, I didn't touch the main barriers, so it wouldn't cause the fall of Seokyung City abruptly. The Mokli clan is now over. Having eliminated most of the chi building cultivators and the core formation elders, including the clan head, the remaining members of the Mokli clan in the territory will slowly wither away under the pressure of the Jin clan. I look at the bundles of goods I have taken from the Mokli clan. I have gathered every single spirit stone from the Mokli clan, except for the elixirs. With this, I resolved all the issues in Yangguo. Now then, I turn my gaze southward. I should go meet Song Jin and Xiao Ran. Swoosh, the blue sea. Flying over the sea, I arrive at Xiao Ran's residence from Yangguo in a day. Swish, I part the waters with my formless sword and descend directly to Xiao Ran's dwelling. When I arrive at his underwater cave, splash, from inside the underwater abode, Xiao Ran hastily lifts his head. I speak to Xiao Ran in the language of the demon race. Are you Xiao Ran? Feeling the presence of my formless sword, he looks at me cautiously and asks. Yes, that's me, but may I ask, are you also a demon beast? Just an unusual human, and I have come to Xiao Ran without any major incidents in this life, so he must have received the space-breaking bead from Xiao Weol as planned. How should I explain? After a moment of contemplation, I tell him. I'm here on behalf of an elder of the Sea Dragon tribe, named Jaeon Hyang. He asked me to find you. You, no Elder Jaeon? Seo Ran asks, his eyes widening. I nod. You received the space-breaking bead from Seo Weol, and were instructed to blow up the Nether Crossing ship, correct? Isn't that so? Quote. Yes, that's correct. First, give me the space-breaking bead. Yes. Oh, here it is. Seo Ran, though suspicious, hands me the space-breaking bead. After receiving the Dharma treasure, I say to him, you couldn't break through the barrier of Black Ghost Valley to enter the Nether Crossing ship, could you? Let's go together, I'll break the barrier for you. Thank you. Seo Ran bows to me in gratitude, and I continue. You can transform into your true form since I know you're a demi-human. Quote. Elder Jaeon told you about that as well. Let's say he did. Now follow me. We're going to the Nether Crossing ship. Quote. Yes. Seo Ran, while still suspicious, follows me towards the Nether Crossing ship. We arrive at the sea area where the Nether Crossing ship is located. An invisible barrier is positioned ahead. Beyond this barrier lies the domain of ghosts. Senior, first of all, this barrier. Never mind, just stay there. I step back and raise my hand. Severing mountain swordsmanship, entering mountain. A slicing upward motion, that's all it took. And then, swoosh, the air splits open, and the barrier is cut through. Beyond the barrier, the army of tens of thousands of ghosts that form the Black Ghost Legion are also split in half, clearing the path. Gasp. Seo Ran's mouth hangs open, and I, pulling along the stunned Seo Ran, quickly head towards the center of the formation where the Nether Crossing ship is located. In the center of the well-shaped formation, a solid final barrier remains. Boom, quang, my thrown formless sword shatters the barrier in one strike. Gasp, even a core formation cultivator would struggle to break such a barrier. Seo Ran, who had been staring blankly, now looks at me with eyes full of fear. It's understandable. An already suspicious person showing nascent soul capabilities is indeed terrifying. Hurry up, there's someone we need to meet. To meet, who? Did you think, even though Black Ghost Valley became a wasteland, that they would leave the Nether Crossing ship, their pride and joy, completely unguarded? I lead Seo Ran straight down to the lowest level of the Nether Crossing ship. There, in the deepest part of the ship, we meet Song Jin, who glares at me nervously. Who are you? Song Jin seems aware that I had broken the barrier in one go, sizing me up intensely. I turn to Seo Ran. Introduce yourself, Taoist Seo. This person is Senior Song Jin, a heavenly being remnant soul, guarding this Nether Crossing ship after being killed by the Mad Lord Zhou Yian. Hello, you, could it be? Why have you come here? Seo Ran looks to not understand the situation and just greets Song Jin as instructed. Are you her child? Why have you come here? At this, Seo Ran clamps his lips shut. I came to search for my mother's relic. You came to search for your mother's relic? Flames blaze in Song Jin's eyes. Yet, he seems to restrain his anger, speaking more softly. Whatever is remaining in this place, everything, is a part of the valley. I cannot give anything to an outsider like you. I raise my formless sword and ask. Why don't you give us a chance to find it, Senior? Song Jin's eyes blaze even more fiercely at the sight of my formless sword. Though angry, realizing he has no way to resist against my nascent soul prowess, he seems to accept his situation. How did you manage to not get dragged into Ascension? And what is that ominous thing that freely enters and leaves planes? Damn it, he grits his teeth, clenching his fists tightly. I'll give you half a day. Find your mother's room within that time and search for the relic. If you don't leave within that time, I will burn my soul to show you the wrath of a heavenly being cultivator. Understood. Thank you. Seo Ran bows to Song Jin, and I nod. Later, guided by me, Seo Ran reaches his mother's room. Song Jin looks furious but closes his mouth and watches us silently. Soon, Seo Ran finds the jade slip his mother left and begins to read it. Song Jin also sneaks in and starts reading the jade slip with him. I step outside for a while. After some time, I hear Song Jin and Seo Ran talking inside the room. I head outside the Nether Crossing ship and slowly look up at the sky. 3 days passed. What are your intentions? Song Jin came to find me, who had been quietly waiting on the deck. Why did you bring that boy to me? And why did you support him without asking for anything in return? I pause before making an excuse. I was asked by an elder of the Sea Dragon tribe, Jaeon Hyang. Jaeon Hyang, the chief astrologer of the Sea Dragon tribe, I see. Why do you ask? That boy, I've decided to take him as my disciple. Once again, the master-disciple bond between Song Jin and Seo Ran is established. Seo Ran and Song Jin came to the deck to thank me. I don't like it, but I need to thank you anyway. I'm also very grateful. If there's anything you need in the future, senior, I will fulfill up to 3 requests. My disciple is doing so I can't just stand by only opening my mouth. I will do the same. In that case, I look at Song Jin and say, first, let me use the nether crossing ship. What? Boom, I present the pile of spirit stones I have brought from the main house of the Mockley clan in front of him. With this, it should be enough to operate the nether crossing ship, right? It should be more than enough since I had taken all the spirit stones from the Mockley clan. Song Jin's eyes gleam at the sight of the spirit stones. It's more than enough. Alright, where do you want to go? First, let's go to the Sea Dragon Palace of the Sea Dragon tribe. Together, we move towards the Sea Dragon Palace. Rumble. Together with ghostly energy, the nether crossing ship moved through space. We immediately reach the location of the Sea Dragon Palace. Is it possible to break the barrier of the Sea Dragon Palace using the main cannon of the nether crossing ship? Impossible. All the main cannons on the nether crossing ship are broken. I see. I recall the power of the cannon fired by Manly Min Lap and lick my lips. Then I have no choice but to use my own strength. I descend from the nether crossing ship, braving the water pressure, and swing my formless sword. The area in my past life where Seo Ran had set up the formation. It should be enough to break through the weakest part of Seo Weol's barrier. Wang. The formless sword penetrates the inside of the formation. Starting with the most fragile parts, it begins to permeate and erode them. As the layers thin, soon after, boom, a small hole appears on one side of the barrier. Taoist Seo, follow me. And if possible, Senior Song Jin, please come along. How can I trust that you haven't set a trap here? Song Jin looks at me suspiciously, and I sigh and say, I swear on the nether crossing ship. I assure you, I haven't set any traps here. Alright. Song Jin forms a hand seal and draws the ghostly energy from the nether crossing ship to himself. Swoosh. Song Jin jumps down with the ghostly energy attached, followed by Seo Ran and me, and we enter the Sea Dragon Palace. The Sea Dragon Palace. The last time I was here was when I was invited by Dragon King Seo. It's been a long time. It's been a while for me too. We head towards the inner palace of the Sea Dragon Palace. But why have you called us here? Please follow me. There's something I need to show you. I lead them to the hall where Jaeon Hyang had died. Swoosh. And when we enter the hall, a sticky curse flies towards Seo Ran and sticks to him. Just as Song Jin is startled and tries to remove the curse attached to Seo Ran. Hiss. The curse attached to Seo Ran melts away. It seems like Seo Ran has heard Jaeon Hyang's voice, as his eyes tremble. Elder Jaeon, I need to read that book. I calmly picked up a jade slab. Below, I find a familiar book. I pull the book towards me with my formless sword and then place the jade slab down. Then, I hand the book to Song Jin. Please check if there are any problems with it. What problem could there be? It's just. Then, what? Damn it, our eyes met. Startled, Song Jin glares at the book. Wriggle. Even though the book left by Seo Weol hasn't been fully read or closed yet, it begins to wriggle wildly. Swoosh. A ghostly energy emanates from Song Jin's hand, enveloping the book, and he urgently speaks. Damn, I've temporarily sealed it. Let's quickly go back to the nether crossing ship. Snap. I grab Song Jin's shoulder, and together we return to the nether crossing ship using the formless sword. When we finally arrive at the nether crossing ship, boom, the ghostly energy fails to withstand anymore and finally breaks apart. From inside the book, a blue light bursts forth. The consciousness of Sea Dragon King Seo Weol. The consciousness of Seo Weol begins to spill out the same words I had heard in my past life. As Seo Ran's eyes widen in shock, Song Jin forms a seal and shouts. Devour it, nether crossing ship. Simultaneously, screech, ghostly figures emerge from the deck of the nether crossing ship, IGHTLY binding Seo Weol's remnant. And so, Seo Weol's remnant is sucked into the nether crossing ship. Swoosh. Just like that, Seo Weol's remnant vanishes. It's the remnant consciousness left by Dragon King Seo. Why did he leave such a thing? Song Jin wonders, and Seo Ran, shocked by Seo Weil's words, trembles. I pick up the book and hand it to Seo Ran. Inside, you'll find Elder Jeon Hyung's diary. There's no more trickery from Seo Weil, so take your time and read it. Quote. All right. Seo Ran looks fearful of facing the truth, hesitating briefly. But soon, he tremblingly begins to read the book. After a while, drip, drip, tears begin to flow from Seo Ran's eyes. Everything the king showed me, was it all a lie? He looks deeply shocked. Seo Ran weeps for a long time while looking at the book. After several hours, have you calmed down a bit, Taoist Seo? Quote. I was entrusted by Elder Jeon Hyung before he wrote the last part of his diary. He asked me to guide you well. I have led you here in accordance with his will, so I hope you make wise decisions going forward. Seo Ran grits his teeth and nods. Quote. Understood. Thank you. He has a resolved expression on his face. Song Jin, who has been watching us, speaks to me. I won't count activating the Nether Crossing ship as a favor. Thanks to this, my disciple has learned about the deceitfulness of Dragon King Seo and will also gain the numerous treasures left in the Sea Dragon Palace. Thank you. Then, can we make a few more stops using the Nether Crossing ship? Late evening. The heat of the desert cooled as night approached. Kugugugu. The Nether Crossing ship appeared in the middle of the desert. In the distance, a black castle is visible. Senior Song Jin, do you feel the enormous resentful souls sleeping beneath that castle? Indeed, they are immense. Can you use them to break the barrier covering that black castle? Hearing my words, Song Jin nods. Well, alright. Kugugugu. Shortly after, the Nether Crossing ship lands in the desert. Song Jin begins to form seals. It's the dead of night with no sunrise, so the yin energy of the resentful souls are boiling more fiercely. Kya, 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 bubble, bubble, bubble. Millions of resentful souls beneath the black castle scream wildly. And feeling the anomaly, a bloody fog starts to flow out from inside the black castle. What? Who are you? Who dares? And a familiar face appears. It's Yuan Li. I smirk. Should have stayed hidden, why come out and risk your life? What? Wait. Nether Crossing ship, Black Ghost Valley. Just then, Song Jin completes his spell. Kya, a horde of ghosts wail and rush towards Song Jin. This is madness. What? Why are you doing this to me all of a sudden? Yuan Li, sensing Song Jin's growing power, cries out in terror. But Song Jin, indifferent to his pleas, completes his ghostly spell. Damn it, shush, keying. Yuan Li curses and retreats back into the Black Castle. Soon, the ancient barrier covering the Black Castle reveals itself. Swoosh. Simultaneously, a crimson river of blood flows from inside the castle, strengthening the barrier. Long source true power. Yuan Li's backup life. Keying. Crack. Crack KKK. The barrier, strengthened, emits sparks. And then, kugugugu. The sky fills with yin energy. In an instant, Song Jin, regaining his heavenly being power, stands with his hands behind his back, floating in the air, looking down at the Black Castle. It seems to be an immortal treasure with the power to attract fate. So they say. The Mad Lord had mentioned it before. I had heard about this castle before as well. Song Jin looks at me. It seems you want to capture that guy. Though the castle itself is not much, the core supplying the castle with the power of fate is troublesome, and he's hiding right below it. I can shatter the castle with one blow, but I might not be able to capture him in the core. Ah, it's all right. Just do that much, and I'll handle the rest. Very well then. Kugugugu. Blue ghostly flames rise in Song Jin's eyes. I'll show you the power of an elder of the Great Azure Ghost Valley. Kya, kurun, kurururun. Dark clouds gather in the sky. Soon, the clouds merge, forming a giant ghostly head. Thousand Ghost Bone Formation. Open. Kya. A ghostly wail echoes between heaven and earth. Then, the ghostly head formed by the dark clouds contort wildly and plummet towards the Black Castle. A force that rivals the statue thrown by the Mad Lord. Zhejiang. The Black Castle's barrier, saturated with Long Source true power, seems to resist for a moment but then turns red and explodes. Kwang. The Black Castle beneath the barrier also crumbles. Quagwagwang. A storm of yin wind sweeps across heaven and earth. Shortly after. Surprising indeed. I did hold back a bit. Still, I didn't expect the castle to retain its shape. Song Jin looks at the Black Castle in astonishment. It's just as he said. Despite the immense strike it had just endured, the Black Castle hasn't turned entirely to dust. Only the upper layers and the roof had been blown off, maintaining its general structure. Of course. Arg, ack, Yuan Li is inside, half turned to meat, vomiting blood. Shururuk, he's using the long source true power to regenerate his body. And then, above him, the apparition of Xiao Wei'el flickers and disappears. Song Jin looks at Xiao Wei'el's apparition, his ghostly energy distorting for a moment before turning his head away. Xiao Wei'el's remnants and the core of this castle shielded it from my strike. That is, I remember something from my distant past life. After the Mad Lord dealt with Yuan Li, when he tore apart the Black Castle, there was a stone fragment. Back then, I was more concerned with escaping the Mad Lord secretly and didn't pay much attention to the fragment. But at this moment, seeing the stone fragment clearly, my eyes widened in astonishment. Crackle, the stone fragment is continuously emitting golden lightning. It's the upper part of the steel that had floated right in front of Ascension Gate, in the center of Ascension Path.